This is an introductory video to the 3 phases. It's really important, and it's basically the whole foundation for the way we work with dogs and the way we train dogs, and we make a calm family dog. Erko, that's the whole thing. The whole difference between what we do when we make and say we make a family dog, a calm family dog. We'll try to explain to you a little bit. You'll get to the next videos, and there I'll probably get deep into what is the first, second, third phase, and then you can say there are actually 5, and then you say there are 3 phases. Well, there's also something called phase 1.5, and there's something called phase 2.5. So that means phase 1, phase 1.5, phase 2, phase 2.5, and phase 3. But it's because when I say phase 1.5 and phase 2.5, it's because you're on 1. So, a process where you're still in phase 1, but on your way to phase 2, or you're still phase 2 on your way to phase 3. So that's why the 3 phases have 5 on the way there. 5 more tools before you're actually there, right? This you have to do to get a calm family hand. And when I say have to, it's of course because there's nothing you really have to do. But this has a crazy effect in relation to the old-fashioned training, where the fact that the dog was constantly playing when we do things. What we're trying to do here is that we know that dopamine has to be present for you to learn, but it's not unimportant how to use dopamine. We use dopamine in a completely different way than you use dopamine on the old-fashioned training. And when I see Old Wood, it's the thing about her being very soft on you. And it wants to do the next things. And this dopamine is really just something that makes sure that you repeat it. That is, the individual repeats it as it did before in order to achieve or other things. And that is, it's addictive, and that's what we want to get out of. It's this addictive thing. So therefore we actually coordinate this dopamine a bit with something Tawnian. And it is really important that you drive it in. The thing about it is that when we have to do these 3 phases, we know that it is a learning process, and you have to learn it completely on the same terms as you have to learn all kinds of other things in life too. Well, now we're talking dog training, but as we have to teach all other things in life, these are the kind of tools that you have to. There are skills your dog needs to be trained in, and if you don't know them or understand them, you can't get there. If you don't have the tools, you can't teach anyone else. You need to understand and practice them a bit before you actually get good at them. This thing with dopamine, why do we want to reduce it when it's involved in the way we all learn? We want that because the challenge is, we've always heard that as soon as the dog does it right, it gets a treat. The dopamine makes it tense, high energy enters the dog's body, and it associates that with successfully performing the exercise. It should be something positive when, next, we want to move away from that. So, we use exercise 1.5 or phase number 1.5 to help bring tranquility to the dog. To get a calm dog, we've decided that just doing the exercise correctly isn't enough, not you, but the dog also needs to breathe out. Take this dopamine, combined with stress and high energy. We want to eliminate that because combining dopamine with stress and high energy causes negative cortisol, and it then does. Pathological behavior, which is rather bad. So we must eradicate this. Thus we need to be extremely cautious that what we do not do is part of the process. On the other hand, we reward the dog not just for simply looking at us, but for actually looking at us and then relaxing. This means all other dog trainers would argue that you've rewarded at the wrong time. They may think so, but that's not our goal. Our goal isn't a specific target, it's a 10 meter. If it runs 100 meters but has only progressed 90 meters by doing the right thing, then the deed of looking at you and then getting the treat is merely an illustrative example. But it doesn't fall under our objectives, which you and I have decided on. In other words, it's not the objective of what we want for the dog, it's patience. And we start to work on this right from the beginning. That is, we begin by training our dogs to be patient. And it's not a skill you're born with, it's not one I'm born with, it's not one the dogs are born with either. It's not a tool that we own. So we have to learn that completely. Like we have to learn everything else. Speak Danish, do arithmetic, write, and who knows, nuclear physics and all sorts of other things. So it's something we have to learn, and that means we have to work with it. So it's a process to get there. And I've shown many times on videos. Then hey, I'm not really doing it, but it's to explain to you how it is and how important this intro video is for the next videos, where I then explain in detail what we do there and why do we do the different things. But this thing with dopamine is just really important, that we use it correctly. And then if we want to make a family dog that's just calm, that can relax, really think. Even really ask for permission, someone who can lie by the fireplace, someone you can take to the beach on the meadow, and in the long run can really just be a part of the family who is having a good time, who wants to be with you without the high energy. We are not interested in that high energy. We are interested in someone who rests in themselves. We are interested in making dogs that relax, that have a calm, that have an overview. There is this, oh, there's another dog, or, well, there's a seal out in the water, and then just look up. How should I relate to it? And then, for example, I just do this. It's like this. It's like this. Not, well, but then the dog knows that, well, but it's not something I have to take care of. It's something new I've never seen. But I'm allowed to be curious and look at what it is without it adding up to all this, right? So that's what we're doing, the 3 phases. But now stay tuned. In the next video, I'm going to delve into what is phase 1.